Hey guys, what's up? So I've been going over the ClimateCon Conversation Mastery course and figuring out how can I get you guys to understand and become better at debating, like how I have become pretty damn good at debating. I would say so myself. There's still more to learn. There always will be more to learn, and how to be the best debater. And it isn't just what you know. Obviously, that's very important. That's why I've got the ClimateCon Conversation Mastery course, which has a lot of the information, and then we have the podcast and the articles and everything, the book, all on the site to cover the foundational aspects of the knowledge side of it. But it's not just having the knowledge, because as you see in this very well drawn graph, if you have a lot of truth, high in truth, but you don't have the grace, you're a terrible communicator, then you end up over here, which is fight, flight, and argument. And you've probably all been here at some point where the argument or the debate turns into an argument, it devolves, and the person you're trying to convince, and maybe you as well, you both get emotional and your rational brain is shut off and the conversation devolves. Now, this is very, very common, and sometimes something happens, but it's very ineffective in a way of getting your message across. And there's a whole lot of what you need to do to be able to get better and not letting this happen, so that you actually come over here, which is a win. But to get there, you need to have grace. That's the halo. I know, a beautiful illustrations, I know. With the truth. Because if you end up here, the rational brain gets shut down and people are far less receptive to new information, and it just turns into a shouting match. What you also may have happen is you have absolutely no grace and you're not very good at communicating your truth. That's a book. And then what happens, you come in and they're spraying us with poison, or they're trying to depopulate us, and the person just goes, "Get the fuck out of my house, you crazy conspiracy theorist." And they don't listen to anything you say at all, and the debate is over. It doesn't even get started. You've probably all been here too. I have many a time. When I first woke up 13 years ago, I went through the romantic rebellious phase, and I had a lot of this. I knew quite a bit, but I was terrible. I had no grace. I was terrible at communicating it, and this was that was the common thing that happened. And then what might happen is you actually have a lot of grace, but you're not very good at communicating the truth, or you don't know the truth well enough. You're not very confident. So you might be kind of nice in the way you approach, and you've got the ability to be approachable, and it's not too confrontational. But then they don't take you seriously. So they're like, "That's cute, thanks for that, but I'm going to go to the BBC and get my information from some verified source that knows more than you." At least that's what I believe. Because you're unable to communicate your truth, there's no power, and you end up there. To get here, to get a win, is actually quite a combination of many character traits as well as knowing your shit. And I cover all of this over here at winning. But a win is when you have successfully transmitted the information in your mind into the other person and they've accepted it. Now, I want you to obviously be grounded in reality here, because a win, very, very rarely, maybe if you're extremely lucky or well equipped with what you do, and the person you're dealing with has also got a high level of character development, that in the moment they'll be like, "Wow, thank you. You're so right." So we have over here fantasy. This is what a win looks like in our minds in fantasy. The other person say, like, "If I could draw better, I'd draw the stick figure kissing the other guy's feet." And be like, "Wow, you're so right. Thank you." That's fantasy. That's not what we're after. What we actually are more likely to get, this is reality, is you'll transmit your truth to them with grace and confidence, and you'll ask the right questions and get their mind rolling in the right way, and then they'll just be quiet and a light bulb will go off, and you can see their consciousness looking into itself from the inside out. And that's when they have put something together in their mind. And you want to get people to this point. Even when you see this happen, they most likely still won't say that you're right, but you'll get these moments where they've had an internal revelation thanks to the way you've been able to communicate. Right? So this is much more likely to happen, and that's a win. Winning. Right? And to get there, you need to ask questions and remain calm, be confident, know your shit. Play dumb when needed, because sometimes, well, comes back to this point here, that if you come in guns blazing with depopulation and spraying, blah, 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 it's the end of the world now, then, you know, you don't get too far. Sometimes you do need to play dumb and just, like, let the conversation take its course, understand everybody's at different levels of consciousness. And that's where that comes in. But this is an art. You'll get better at this the more you do it. Don't start heavy. We've already just covered that. The right intentions, again, it's like, what are your intentions here? If you're coming in with ego, or if you get to this point, and then suddenly you're like, ha ha ha, ha, I told you, I'm the Don, right? I knew all my shit, and you're stupid. At this point, you'll ruin it. So just have the right intentions, keep your ego in check, and body language is a part of this too as well. Because if you're standing there and it's like you're too confrontational, you might end up getting to this part here, and then you end up with a flight-fight argument. So this is how you can get to being from here, which is just a crazy conspiracy theorist, get out of my house, angry, look at that angry face, look at that. I mean, God, I'm such a good artist, aren't I? And it's like, how do we get from here to here? This is all what we're covering, guys.